UFC Fight Night returns to FS1 today.
With a matchup fit for the Wild Wild West.
Donald Cowboy Cerrone takes on Alex Cowboy Oliveira.
In a welterweight bout live from Pittsburgh. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
8765309.
The green flag will drop at Daytona coming up in about 4 hours or so. You'll see it on Fox. Welcome in. It's Fox Sports Sunday. He's Mike Harmon. I'm Dan Beyer. The phone number's 877-996-6369 or 877-99 on Fox. Mike, they can get you at Twitter.
I am over at Swollen Dome.
I am at Dan Beyer on Fox. And we go to the Progressive Insurance Celebrity Hotline as Tecmo Bowl has kind of taken over the show so far in video games. And Nate Smithson, who's the co-founder and co-editor of Retro Forever, also helps run the Tundra Bowl 3, or Tundra Bowl, which happened in Green Bay, Tundra Bowl 3, less than a month ago. So we're looking ahead to Tundra Bowl 4 and competed in yesterday's Tecmo tournament in Madison. Nathan, thanks so much for joining us on Fox Sports Sunday.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
I've got to ask, when you've put together your tournament in Green Bay, how did this come about? Because it seems to me, and everything that I'm learning about this community that is out there, is that it really started with what happened in Madison yesterday, and that's the Tecmo Tournament Madison. How did you start your Tecmo tournament that you have with the Tundra Bowl? Did it spin off of what Madison did?
Yeah, it actually did. The first tournament that we actually had was just a bunch of buddies and I. We just got together and played some Tecmo Super Bowl, found out about Madison, and took a trip down there 3 years ago. And really just found the camaraderie and the brotherhood, just really enticing. And it was just a great experience overall, and I wanted that environment up here in Green Bay. We originally wanted to be almost like a preseason to Tecmo Madison, just a nice tune-up because it was about 6 weeks before that. But just everything down there made me want to start it up here and just kind of replicate what they had.
All right, is there something in the charter that you have to use the actual equipment, as in the televisions, to echo the time?
For our tournament, we absolutely do. We actually, echo Tecmo Madison's rules, the original equipment. There are guys across the country that kind of host their own little things, sometimes on ROMs and things, but we use all the original equipment.
Now, this question may seem silly, but it's a legitimate question as Nathan Smithson joins us on Fox Sports Sunday talking Tecmo Bowl. How do you guys get all of the games? Like, do they still make Tecmo cartridges? How do you get, because you guys have like 3 and 4 TVs going on, how do you actually get the games to play? Do they still make the Tecmo Super Bowl game?
They don't for the old cartridges and things. We actually, at our Tundra Bowl, we had 10 TVs set up with 10 complete Nintendo systems and cartridges and things. And honestly, you pick them up from local game stores. You pick them up from online places. Sometimes, like in Tecmo Madison, they had, I think it was about 32 stations. So what they did is they typically have the guys bring their old tube TVs or their Nintendos. So those guys bring them, whereas our tournament that I run, we actually own all the equipment.
All right. When you are not in competition season, how much do you play?
Honestly, I'd probably say maybe once a month, once every 2 months. Not very often. I know a lot of guys that are better than I do play a lot more than I do. But, I just love having fun with the guys, playing, and it's a good time.
Joey Gatz was the winner of yesterday's tournament in Madison, correct? I from Philadelphia. Correct. So you've got guys coming from all over the country that went to Madison yesterday, and I'm sure these guys go to other different spots or throughout the year at different tournaments. 260 people, is that correct, in yesterday's tournament?
Yeah, there was an early play-in. It was actually over 260 because we had to have an early play-in for the last Final Four spots to get into that final field. So.
Okay. And you were
just like the NCAA tournament. I love it.
And you were one of the competitors, right? And how did you? I know you didn't fare as well as you would have liked, but how did you end up faring yesterday?
Yeah, unfortunately, I ended up going 1-2. My group was actually pretty stacked. We had a guy that got to the round of 32, and then the actual fourth place finisher was in my group as well. And unfortunately, I got the honor, I guess you could say, of being the first big name knocked out of the tournament.
Oh, that's like on the World Series of Poker. When you're watching the guys and you're wondering who the big stud that's going to be knocked out, And Nathan Smithson was the big star knocked out first yesterday. How does it set up? Do you got is it a round robin and then it turns into a bracket system? And do you do it differently for your tournament? I'm fascinated on how this works and how you can get over 260 guys together. I know that there ends up being a bracket, but are you guys putting pods? How does the setup work out for a tournament this size?
For Tecmo Madison, what they had to do, they used to guarantee a 3-game minimum, and it came down to actually now a double elimination with that many guys. So there's a double elimination bracket and group play. And if you get through that, then you get to the round of 64, and then it runs essentially like March Madness style until the Elite Eight, which is double elimination. For my tournament, we're not quite to that 250, 260 mark. We are the nation's second largest, but we run it a little different. We do the round-robin group play.
Okay.
And then from there, we go into a double elimination bracket. And as we expand Tundra Bowl, we're working on a new website, tundrabowl.com, that'll launch February 24th. And what we're going to do is actually kind of fine-tune it a little more as we get more participants. But currently, that's our format.
Right on. What's your team you want to play? Obviously, there comes to coin tosses and making choices when you get into match play. But given your druthers, is it Bo Jackson or is it quarterback Eagles?
Honestly, I love QB Eagles. I was a quarterback, an actual quarterback. I played in the Arena League for 2 years. So I love kind of playing with QB Eagles because he's the ultimate weapon, as they say. Bo Jackson's great and all, but the Raiders can be kind of one-dimensional. So if I had the choice, I'd obviously take the Eagles there.
Yeah, how is it set up? Because obviously there are there weren't 32 teams back then. There were just 28 teams back then when the game was made. Right. How are each of the teams decided? Do you draw randomly? Because somebody just can't take the Bills the whole time or the 49ers or one of these unstoppable teams and run over everybody. How is it decided up? Mike mentioned the coin flip that can be used. How are teams matched up when you have a tournament like this?
What we do is we do a coin flip, and the winner of that coin toss will actually select 2 teams, and then the loser of the coin toss has their option of either taking the controller that they desire or taking one of the 2 teams. So that way the person pitching the 2-team matchup isn't going to do something that's completely lopsided, because then they'll end up with the crummier team.
And what are the worst teams in the Tecmo Bowl game?
The Colts are the absolute worst team, but the Colts, the Seahawks, and the Patriots they're your bottom 3.
Oh, that rips the heart out as a Seahawks fan, but I know it all too well.
It'll be okay. Now let's go back to the Arena League experience. Who'd you play for?
I played for the Green Bay Blizzard. I was just on the practice squad in 2007 and 2010. Never made it to the active squad, but it was a great experience, and I really enjoyed being on the team.
Well, we've got to figure out something. We found out that there's a tournament every year in Richmond, Virginia. That's on Super Bowl Sunday. How many tournaments are there throughout the year? I mean, now we know about your Tundra Bowl. Tecmo Madison, I believe this was the last year of it, so it's not going to continue. I know that there were some tweets out there that people wanted one more year, but how many tournaments are there throughout the year that people seem to bounce around and go to?
I would say that legitimate tournaments, you've probably got a good 8 to 10 across the country that pull, your 20 to 30, maybe 40 some people. We're hoping, I've talked with the organizers with Madison, with them being in their last year, hoping to succeed them with Tundra Bowl just being in the same geographical region. And actually Josh Holzbauer from Madison, who created the Tecmo Madison tournament with his brother Chet, he actually helped us set up the whole Tundra Bowl setup. So he's been a really good confidant as far as that goes. And, we want to stay as true to Tecmo Madison as possible so that hopefully we can succeed them as we move forward here.
Retro Forever is your website. What can they find at that, Nathan?
Retro Forever actually is going to become tundrabowl.com.
Okay.
Come February 24th, we're going to go strictly dedicated to Tundra Bowl. We used to do retro video game podcasts and reviews, so if people want to check out that content for the next few days, it'll be up. But the new tundrabowl.com launches on February 24th.
Nathan Smithson joining us on the Progressive Insurance Celebrity Hotline. Nathan, thanks so much for the time and shedding more light on this Tecmo phenomenon that we've been talking about all morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thanks, Nathan. That's awesome.
An insight to the world that I had no idea was that large. 8 to 10 tournaments throughout the year that are legit. Again, Retro Forever is the site, but coming up on Wednesday, TundraBowl.com is going to be the site that Nathan runs his own Tecmo Bowl tournament. Was in the tournament yesterday in Madison.
Played for the Blizzard. How
Yeah,
about that? See, we're learning all new things this morning, and I feel like I want to go play video games. Let's get on.
Yeah, we should have thought about this. I used to have a PlayStation up in the office, but hey, we've got a radio show to do. Okay, we can't just sit here and play video games.
No. Well, I mean, we could.
Yeah, actually, we could. We could take down the movie that's going on the right and probably put up a little.
He is wearing a
football.
jaunty hat.
That was amazing.
He looks like he has a Cockney accent.
And we're talking about the TV, okay? That's how all of a sudden we just randomly got off on the television.
Whoa.
Nathan Smithson of Tundra Bowl co-founder, joining us to shed light on our video game list.
Now that the NFL is over, time to bring that focus to the round ball.
Yeah!
It's basketball. From the NCAA.
Slam, and there's the dagger.
To the NBA.
Curry, deep three, right side. Are you kidding me?
We've got it covered.
How does that drive you?
Right here on Fox Sports Radio.